It's been less than 2 months since Montana conservationist Tracy Stone-Manning took over as director of the U.S. Bureau of Land Management after a bruising confirmation fight in which no Republican senators supported her appointment by President Biden. But in her first Montana interview since becoming director, Stone-Manning told me on Friday that she's dedicated to bringing balance and fairness to the agency's decisions and helping chart a new course for the country's public lands and energy development. Stone-Manning won confirmation on a 50-45 Senate vote in late September and is now in charge of an agency that oversees 245 million acres of federal land and 700 million acres of federal mineral estate, most of it in the West. In an interview from her Missoula home Friday, 3 days before she moves to Washington, D.C., Stone-Manning said it will be a different focus than the energy dominance, fossil fuel emphasis of the Trump administration.
We're helping to set the table on what the future of energy development looks like in this country, right? It's going to be renewable, and so the decisions that we're making here and now are going to have really long-lasting effect, which is why we've got to get it right and why we're asking the public for their engagement on this topic.
The Bureau will be reviewing its oil and gas leasing policies with an eye toward increasing royalties paid by producers. She says it also will increase staffing for renewable power development and use money from the federal infrastructure bill to cap hundreds of abandoned oil and gas wells. But another emphasis, she says, is keeping federal lands healthy for the long term, both for wildlife and people who use the lands to work and recreate.
And we have to get really smart about how we manage recreation into the future so that that really beautiful experience that we have where we feel alone and have solitude with nature 40 years from now, people get to have that same experience.
Stone-Manning has a conservationist and political background, having worked for the National Wildlife Federation and Democratic office holders Senator Jon Tester and former Montana Governor Steve Bullock. Yet she says she's dedicated to carrying out BLM's mandate for multiple use of its lands and involving all citizens and stakeholders on the ground in deciding how the lands are managed.
I think my entire track record here in Montana and across the West has been working across the aisle with people to get things done, and that is not going to change one little bit.
We've touched on only a few of the big issues impacted by BLM and its management priorities. I think we can say that Stone-Manning and the Biden administration will be watched closely by many here in the West in the months to come. Reporting from Missoula, Mike Dennison, MTN News.